Hi everyone, today's video is going to help you work through quiz number 9. I included some really helpful visuals and support documents that you can access right on the Flipgrid. You can print them out if you have a printer at home, or you can just copy them onto a separate piece of paper and create your own. Let's take a look at number 2 together. Number 2 says, round 638 to the nearest 10, then round 638 to the nearest 100. So we're going to focus right now just on rounding 638 to the nearest 10. So if you think back to Mr. Terry's video, he went through all the steps that you need to do when rounding a number to the nearest 10. And the document on the Flipgrid that you can find looks like this to help you. Let's work through this one together. So I have a number line right here that I made. So again, you can just draw your own, or you can print mine from the Flipgrid. So if we want to round 638 to the nearest 10, our first job is to draw a number line, okay? And then we need to label the tens that the number is between. So if we're looking at the number 638 and we want to round it to the nearest 10, we're really only worried about the digit in the tens and the digit in the ones. So we're looking at 38. So 38 is between what two groups of 10? That's right, 38 is between 30 and 40. So on my number line, I'm going to write 30 and I'm going to write 40. Okay? Now we need to label the number that is halfway between 30 and 40. So what number comes halfway between 30 and 40? That's right, it's 35. Right? Because we know that between 30 and 40 is 10, and half of 10 is 5. So now we need to look at, remember, rounding to the nearest 10. So we need to look at 38. Where would 38 go on this number line? That's right, 38 would go about here. So you tell me, does 38 round up to 40, or would 38 round all the way down to 30? You want to pick the 10 that 38 is closer to. So what do you think? Very good. 38 rounds up to 40. But remember, our number isn't just 38, it's 638. So 638 rounds to, we keep our hundreds the same, 640. So when you go to put your answer in on your quiz, this is 638. Rounded to the nearest 10 is 640. All right, great job. So the next part of this question says to round 638 to the nearest 100. So I'm just going to flip my chart over because I have a hundreds chart already created here. So we are rounding 638 to the nearest 100. So we have to look at the number in the hundreds place, and we have to decide 638 is between what two groups of 100? Well, we know the first group that it starts with is 600, and it's between 600 and 700. Very good. So on our number line, and you can do this with me, we're going to label 600, and we're going to label 700. Now friends, if I'm going too fast at any point, pause the video to give yourself time to catch up. So what number is exactly between 600 and 700? It's 650, right? Because we know that there's 100 between 600 and 700, and half of 100 is 50. So we labeled the number that's halfway between our two hundreds. Now we need to plot 638 on the number line. So about where would 638 go? Well, I know that 638 is less than 650. So I'm going to put it maybe about here. Now remember, I'm rounding to the nearest 100. So is 638 closer to 700, or is 638 closer to 600? You decide. Very good. On our number line, it's easy to see that 638 would round down to 600 because it's closer to 600. So 638 rounds down to 600. So when you go to plug your answers in on your quiz, This is 638 rounded to the nearest 100. Great job, friends. Let's take a look at number 3. Okay, so number 3 says, round the amount of grape juice to the nearest 10. So you can see right here that there's 44 milliliters of grape juice, and we want to round it to the nearest 10. So I'm going to take my number line and I'm going to decide, is 44, I'm going to decide 44 is between what two groups of 10? I always look here to know the 10 to start with. So 44 is between 40 and 50. Very good. So you're going to plot those on your number line, 40 and 50. And then what number is halfway between 40 and 50? Very good. It's 45. Where would 44 go? I would like you to pause the video, plot 44 on your number line, and then decide, is 44 going to round down to 40, or is 44 going to round up to 50? You can write your answer down, and when you're ready, press play, and we'll take a look at number 4 together. Okay, friends, great job working on number 3. Let's take a look at number 4 together. So number 4 says, which choice shows the number of pennies to the nearest 100? Our class collected 644 pennies for the local animal shelter. So we want to round 644 to the nearest 100. So your first step is to create your number line. Remember, we're rounding to the nearest 100. So we need to decide what two hundreds 644 is between. I'd like you to pause your video and plot the two hundreds that 644 is between. Then press play. Okay, friends, great job. So 644 is between 600 and 700. What number is between 600 and 700? Excellent, 650. Okay, now I'd like you to pause your video, plot 644 on your number line. Where's it going to go? And then you decide, is 644 going to round down to 600, or is 644 going to round up to 700? What 100 is it closest to? And then you can tell me right here. Okay, friends, great job. You should have told me that 644 rounds down to 600. Okay, let's take a look at number 5 together. Okay, friends, so number 5 says, which set of numbers both round to 50? So we're going to have to round both choices to the nearest 10. So let's take a look at 55. Okay, so 55 is between what two groups of 10? 50 and 60. Excellent. So I'm going to plot 50 and 60 on my number line, and then I'm going to put 55 in between. Okay, well, 55 is right here, right? And remember, if it's 5 or more, we round up. So 55 is going to round to 60, but we want numbers that both round to 50. So does 55 round to 50? No, it doesn't. So we're going to cross that one out. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Going to erase this. Okay, so 51 and 47, we want around 51 and 47. So 51 is between what two groups of 10? 51 is between 50 and 60. Great job. So let's plot 51. And what do you think? Would 51 round down to 50, or 51 round all the way up to 60? Very good. 51 would round down to 50. So I'm going to write that here just so I can remember. And now I'm going to try 47. So 47 Remember, look at your number in the tens place, okay, your digit in the tens. 47 is between what two groups of 10? That's right, 40 and 50. I'm sorry, I just made a mistake. 47, no, I didn't make a mistake, whoops. 47 is between 40 and 50. I would like you to pause your video, make the halfway point between 40 and 50, and then you tell me, is 47 closer to 50 or closer to 40? Then you can press play. Okay, friends, great job. So you should have noticed that 47 is about here, which tells us that 47 rounds up to 50. So we needed two numbers that both rounded to 50. So our choice would be 51 and 47. Okay, let's take a look at number 6 together. Okay, friends, so number 6 asks us, what is the walrus's weight rounded to the nearest hundred? And you can find the walrus's weight on the scale right here, 887 kilograms. So I'm going to add that on my number line. Okay, friends, I would like you to round 887 by yourself. So pause the video, go through all your steps. I'll leave it here so you can see your steps, okay? And when you're ready, press play. Okay, friends, great job. You should have told me that 887 is between 800 and 900, but it rounds up to 900. Okay, let's take a look at number 7 together. Okay, number 7 is a little bit different. Number 7 says use the cards to select an answer that matches these rules. Not all cards will be used. 4 is the ones digit, 2 is the tens digit, and 100 is the nearest hundred when rounding. So that's tricky. I'm going to help you set this up so that it makes a little bit more sense. So they're asking us to build a number that has a number in the hundreds place, a number in the tens place, and a number in the ones place. So on your paper, I would like you to just set up a small chart that looks like mine. So it says that 4 is the ones digit. So where would 4 go? That's right, 4 would go in the ones place. I'm going to cross it out because we used it already. Then it says 2 is the tens digit. So where would 2 go? That's right, 2 would go in the tens place because it's the tens digit. So you cross out 2. Now we need to decide the number in the hundreds place is the nearest. 100 is going to be the nearest number when we're rounding. So we have to round 100 and we have to round 300 to decide which number rounds to 100. So does 100 round to 100 or does 300 round to 100? So I'm going to ask you to round 100 for me first. And when you're ready, you can round 300 for me to the nearest 100. When you're ready, press play. Okay, friends, great job. So you should have told me that 100 rounded to 100. That was kind of easy, right? And 300 rounds to 300. Excellent. So the digit that's going to go in our hundreds place is 100 or 300. 100, right? Because it says that 100 is the nearest hundred when rounding. That question was a little bit tricky. Okay, friends, don't forget, don't forget to take all of your work and go back into your online quiz and submit all your answers. If you need any extra help, just reach out to me. Great job.